In this video, I'm going to attempt to comment on some of the allegations made by Dr. Wright and his potential appeal that have happened on this particular channel. So I definitely, so stay tuned for that and how it may be affecting things going forward. So first things first, it's like phenomenal weather here in California right now. We're at September 30th today. My heart goes out to all the people on the East Coast, South, and Florida that are having just terrible weather and seasons, and also in the Northeast as well. So, heart goes out to them. On the positive note, it's just absolutely marvelous out here. I mean, it's already like 6 p.m. and it's just freaking beautiful out, right? I mean, it's amazing. Next time I got to do a shot of the city. Yeah, so I did some interviews with attorney David Pierce, patent attorney out of the UK. I think 3 now. Had him on a couple of X Spaces. And we talked extensively about the Craig Wright case. In a couple of the allegations go as this. In the interviews, Mr. Pierce mentioned that he had private correspondence with Justice Miller at a dinner prior to the trial taking place, and then at a special event for patent, for intellectual property, attorneys and the legal industry at an event as well. And on the video, he described, I believe that, on the video he described having communications with him, and they, if I remember correctly, I may be botching this, forgive me, Mr. Pierce, if I did, but I believe it was that he brought up the Andreas Antonopoulos book, Mastering Bitcoin, and they talked about that a little bit, about how the Mastering Bitcoin worked in the book, and they had some laughs about that and a couple of other things. So he talked about that on the video, and then he mentioned that there were some other... so anyways, Craig Wright did not take a liking to that. He clearly has watched the video, and he's taken very serious stance against that, and he now is alleging that is signs of impartiality and ex parte communication between Mr. Pierce, who Craig Wright is claiming to be an ally of COPA, or at least kind with COPA as a holder of BTC, is the claim that Mr. Craig Wright has made. Now, Mr. Pierce is denying the allegations on, I think, my 3rd video, and also saying that it's very, inflammatory and derogatory what Craig Wright is saying. So, but it definitely creates for a lot of drama here. Here we are on this on my YouTube channel, and now this is coming to light that potentially we've got a allegation of judicial bias coming from ex parte communication that Craig Wright is alleging from Mr. Pierce, who's been on this channel. Now, whether or not that's procedurally proper, what Craig Wright is doing, I'm rather doubtful. But hey, it's all possible. One of the other allegations is that he's saying that Mr. Pierce is making a recommendation for a judge in a particular court of appeal that Mr. Pierce has no knowledge of, and that judge, doesn't take kindly to ChatGPT, which Mr. Pierce is alleging that Craig Wright uses on all of his pleadings. He uses ChatGPT. So there's a little bit of a war going on back and forth on this. Both totally difference of opinion. But I want to comment also on a side note, a couple of things. One, what's long been forgotten now by all the BTC trolls and the laser-eyed maxi people is Kleiman versus Wright. The Court of Appeal decision 2023 in October, the 13th District, which is the appellate circuit over the Florida court, they affirmed the trial court's ruling that, one, that Dr. Wright and Dave Kleiman had no partnership agreement, and 2, that Craig Wright did produce the Satoshi area coin wallets, and that was in a declaration from Steve Shatters with, like, I don't know, let's say 50,000 wallets addresses that came into the court. And then 3, that there was already an initial stipulation by the parties that Craig Wright and then, of course, Kleiman Estate created Bitcoin together. That was the allegations. It was confirmed by the trial court and then affirmed by the Court of Appeal that was not the case, that only Craig Wright was the ones who had the rightful ownership of those coins, meaning that he created Bitcoin. I mean, the determination of the word Satoshi Nakamoto was not at issue. But the creation of Bitcoin was stipulated to by the party. So it's well settled law in the United States that that's already happened. Now, we've got a UK court here where we've got an identity issue, which is separate. Somehow that was just completely not relevant at all to this case. And I think it's something the public should be mindful of, that it's well settled law, not only at the trial court, but it was a jury trial. Then it went to appeal and affirmed by the Court of Appeal, the 13th District Court, Circuit Court, over Florida. Now, in addition, I'm doing a space on Friday. Just got confirmed today. I put out a tweet that said X post that says, you know, if I get 77 likes on this X post, we'll do a space about the NAR and DAR and about the regulatory compliance, and also the announcement that BSV blockchain is now in compliance, is in a partnership with a global compliance. It's like they're called global compliance. And what they're going to do is they're going to, you know, basically make KYC and compliance easier for people to buy and get into crypto, I guess. So BSV, probably in general. So they're going to do it much more compliant, and they're out of Switzerland. They are really like a big, it looks like an institutional style company. So on Friday, we're going to talk about that. Looks like it got a lot of favoritism. So I'm proposing a speakers panel right now. I proposed John, the attorney that was on, John, he's John Reed. He's a former SEC attorney, and he was on an X Space he hosted an X Space on Saturday that was well liked. And I'm proposing he come on as a guest. He's just a specially invited guest. I have no confirmation of that, but I'm definitely going to be having Connor Murray, Brett Banafee. Let's see. We're going to have, I invited Michael Scott. I invited Kurt Walker Jr., Alex Lavelle, Jack Pitts. Let's see. We'll have other people that are commenting as well. It's going to be open to opposition. So it's going to be love and hate. Now, it's going to be a space that's going to be well moderated, where like if you start mudslinging, there's no mudslinging, no name calling, no personal attacks, nothing like that. It has to be just factual arguments or questions. As long as it stays on that, then it's a fair game. Anyone's free to say whatever they want, as long as it's a well-founded legal argument, factual argument, and it doesn't get into anything personal or evil or mudslinging, you know, which is just, again, there's a principle in the law, and attorneys are taught this in law school very commonly. Whenever you have a strong case, and you have strong facts, just argue the facts. Whenever you have the law on support of the facts, then argue both. Argue how the law supports the facts in front of the court. When you have no chance at winning, and you have the facts aren't on your sides and the law's not on your side, then the principle goes, it's a universal principle, then you name call the other side as much as you can, throw as much mud and nasty words about the other side's personal character, and then also bring up irrelevant topics which are completely nonsensical and irrelevant to the issue at hand, just to upset the other side. That's always option 3. This is prevalently taught in in many upcoming attorneys, how they go about arguing cases. So be mindful that anytime you see people doing that strategy, that's exactly the strategy they're using, is option 3. Okay, so that's why I'm not going to allow that option on this space, not at all. You know, so if you're not, if you're going to try that, what would be called gaslighting, you're out. So that being said, everyone's welcome to come up and speak freely. We'll probably go into some sort of a speaker session at the beginning, and then open up to questions and comments at the end. So during the space, just keep your hand down until we open up, and then I'll bring up other speakers. That being said, just a quick little recap on this video here about the chaos that's going on with the appeal, the Craig Wright case, right? So we got David Pierce. He's on the chopping block apparently with Dr. Wright. Friend of mine, I have no objection to Mr. Pierce. He seems like a good guy to me. A lot of people are throwing mud at him. I can defend him as well as I know him. I think he's a fair slinging dude. And whether Craig Wright is accurate or even has any grounds for this is yet for the court to decide. So we'll see. But Mr. Pierce is welcome to respond in a future talk. But I will probably just wait on doing a show with Mr. Pierce until there's an actual ruling from the court sometime in October, something's going to happen, whether it's going to be accepted or moving on. So we'll wait on that. But it is rather interesting and compelling that here we are on this little YouTube channel from a dude out in California, potentially being at issue in the court. Now, I do ask the one request is if the court does consider this, then I get an honorable mention in there and a reference inside the published opinion, okay? Please, just say, you know, the Gavin Mail YouTube channel, and this on the little shout out, so I could be in the published opinion and I could cite that in my resume someday. So, all right. Be sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, notification bells. Check out my X account. We're going to do that post on Friday. It's going to be, looks like at 11 o'clock. And also, one other thing I'm going to I plan on start streaming in November. So, like, really start streaming platforms and bring this up to a whole nother level. So, stay tuned on that. And then, yeah, it's going to be freaking exciting, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the video. Everybody leave a comment. I'll read those, and I'll be sure to get back to you best I can. I'll see you at the top.